What's good, YouTube? It's Chaz May here, and doing the tier list. Wow, who would have guessed? And I want to do this specific tier list for a reason. UFC Seattle really annoyed me with the reffing, so here is me mainly doing this for a rant reason, but for you guys to see, I made a little tier list, and yeah. Sorry for the crazy light. I don't know why it's looking so bright on camera, but just don't mind that. Let's get to the video. Who do I want to put up first? I think this just I think his name is John McCarthy. He's already gone. He was a decent ref, I think. So I probably would have put him around here. I would have probably put him mid. But for right now, he's gone. Same for Mario Yamasaki or whatever his name was, gone, and I probably would have just put him and fire him. Now, since they're gone, let's get into the refs that are actually currently in the UFC and currently working. I generally don't know who this is. I know he's on the tier list, but I generally had no. When I was looking at the pictures of these guys, I was like, I have no idea who this is, and I don't know who this is either. Who is this, man? Who are you? I feel like I've never seen this dude in my life. So whatever though. Chris Tignoni, whatever his name is, Tignoni. He's pretty bad sometimes, man. He's pretty bad. I feel like he makes a lot of mistakes. He doesn't take points. He kind of lets cheats just happen. I remember after the Mash Schnell KO, he's just patting Schnell on the back. He's like, that was pretty nasty knockout. So he can be in pretty bad tier. My dad crashes out when he ever sees him. My dad generally would probably put him in fire. Him. Who do I want to put next? Dude, I'm gonna put him in this tier 2. This little short midget guy, McLaughlin, I think his name is. Dude, I haven't seen him in ages. I generally don't remember his last fight that he refed, but he's pretty awful a lot of the time. He's just a little roid head that stands in the corner, and he just sits there like. So he's pretty bad. If he wasn't so recognizable, I'd probably put him in Who tier. So yeah. Guram Kutaledzi. I think I'm gonna put him in. I feel like he does a pretty good job of reffing sometimes. I never see a mistake where I'm like, he's doing an awful job. So he's in pretty good tier. To be fair, I might just be biased with all of these because I do just like certain refs and I like the way they do it sometimes. So take that with a grain of salt. I think Herb Dean. Some of these OG refs have taken a fall off. Herb Dean, I'm gonna put you in mid. If this was a couple years ago, he'd probably be in like GOATs in the best tier, but I think for right now, he's pretty mid. He makes a lot of mistakes. He stops fights really weirdly, and yeah, he's gonna be a mid. I think maybe because Guram is in a lot of these fights that are refereed, so I just have less of a vision of him. But for right now, he's in pretty good tier, and yeah. I'm gonna put this guy. I don't remember his name. I couldn't find his name anywhere, but the dude who looks like he's wearing glasses, but it's because he's so dead and he has crazy bags. I'm gonna put him in mid tier. He just doesn't really stand out. I'm putting Herb Dean here not because he's awful, but because he feels like he's very inconsistent. Well, I think he's just pretty mid as a ref. Doesn't have any outstanding moments. So yeah. Who do I want to do that next? I think his name is Mark Smith. I'm also gonna put him in mid. I remember the Macy Barber fight. Kareem Silva, Macy Barber. He essentially, I think it was him who was reffing. He essentially just told Macy Barber, he was like, "You're okay." after she got legally like upkicked or something. So I'm putting him here for that. He does have some other bad moments as well. I think he tore his knee exploded while he was wrecking a fight. Dude, it was a good fight too. I can't remember it. Damn. If you remember, let me know in the comments. But it was like a weird fight where he got like taken out like in a stretcher because his knee exploded. Crazy stuff. So moving on. Okay, if this was like 2024, I'd put Herzog here. But Herzog overall, he isn't really bad ref. I think this is like the inconsistent here. So maybe I should move. I kind of hate how this tiered, but whatever. He makes a lot of mistakes. He has some early stoppages. He has some pretty late ones sometimes. Um, maybe I'll put him pretty good. No, but he's mid because he has bad stoppages. Like the Cannoneer one is one that I'll never forget. And then he has the Italian to share Derek Lewis one, which I actually thought was a really good stoppage because Teixeira literally grabbed the fence to get his way up. So that was a fine stoppage. The ref should have stopped the Musayev fight. Whoever was refing that fight, fuck you. Um, you did an awful job doing that. Should have looked at what Herzog did. So yeah, should have put Herzog in mid tier. I think a couple years before that, he'd probably be pretty good. But 2024, 2025 brought his stock down. And then he was in some weird scandal stuff, so I don't even know what's going on there. Now with the last four, damn, wait, I'm blanking on these people's names. Mark Goddard. I feel like some of these guys are the most recognizable, but they were pretty mid. I think because we see them so often, they have more chances to make mistakes. So yeah, maybe I'll just put Herzog in pretty good. Yeah, maybe I might just put Mark Goddard in pretty good as well. Actually, no, you're going down the mid. Mark Smith, you can go in pretty good. Mark Smith's one of my favorite refs. I don't even know why, but he can go up there. I remember one time he called Fizzy Fizz or something like that, or Fizzy, and so I thought it was pretty good. Mark Goddard, he makes a lot of mistakes. He took a point off Mauser for pretty much no reason. It was good to see that they're taking more initiative, but it was just an odd time to do it. He was down on his knees though, LeBron, so I saw why they took a point. He took a point away, but he's pretty mid. I feel like he has some pretty early stoppages. He gets angry really quickly. I remember the Ortega. He was literally screaming at Ortega because he kept the choke for like a couple seconds later, too long. Yeah, in good mid, but I think recently he hasn't had any mistakes. 2024, 2025, I think that's kind of like the spike of him doing pretty awful. Now the last three in the thumbnail, it might be in there. Dan Miragliotta is one of the worst fucking referees ever. This video is pretty much just an excuse for me to rant about these guys. So maybe I'll put it in the bottom, in the comments below, the timestamp for whenever I get to this point. But Dan Miragliotta is one of the worst referees. I watched him let Rob Font fucking get killed 10 seconds after the bell rang, or after the fight had ended, because his dumbass couldn't hear the fucking bell or the horn. Then, as you can see in the thumbnail, Julius Walker is getting next level CTE, and Darren Miragliotta is just letting it happen. I know he's had other early stoppages. He's been an awful ref for so many fights. Fire him now. I've crashed out at so many of his stoppages before. He's genuinely awful. Get him out of the fucking sport. Keith Peterson is another one. I feel like Keith Peterson, I didn't think was too bad. Dude, there's like a mosquito in my room. Sorry. But after last night, or after Saturday night, he fucking pissed me off with that Navajo trend. Bruno Lopez took like 10 years off, got 10 years taken off his life for no reason because of Keith Peterson. Fuck you, Keith Peterson. Go in this tier. I don't remember the guy who did the Bobby Green, Jalen Turner one. He would probably be in far pretty bad tier. It might be this guy. I don't know. I don't remember. So maybe it is someone else here. If not, let me know in the comments. But for the final, you're probably wondering, oh, who's in the best tier? You haven't put anyone there? The man with a mustache. Why can't I remember his name? Yeah. Mike Beltran? No. Mike Beltran, I think his name is. He's one of my favorite referees. He does a pretty good job. I remember he screamed at Makayev. That was a very good moment. He's a very stern referee. He does take action on that. He's the best referee in my opinion. He's my favorite. And yeah. This was just a quick video. Kind of just filler stuff to fill out my recordings. And this was just me just wanting to write about these two, especially Dan Murgiata, because I haven't seen him do anything stupid recently. But yeah, mainly about Keith Peterson. He pissed me off. Dan Murgiata is always annoying. His dumb fuck ass face. Just look at him. He looks like he's a fucking idiot. He generally looks like he has Down syndrome. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Who's your guys' favorite referee? Who's your least favorite referee? If you guys would put this in any other order, let me know. Like and subscribe, and follow me at Jazz Loves MMA on Twitter. For now, see you guys in a little bit. I will be probably posting my predictions around Wednesday. So, peace.